You can.
It's About Time features dynamic women that will share the pivotal moments that changed their lives forever. From hilariously funny to gut-wrenchingly painful, from outlandish to acts of incredible bravery, each story will take you on an emotional journey. These are the moments that inspired us, captivated our minds, energized our souls, and motivated us to realize that this is our time. I'm Kelly Lamb, and I invite you to join us as we uncover the life-altering events that shaped who we are and fueled our pursuit of purpose. Let's celebrate the women, their resilience, strength, and the unique journeys that defines us as human beings. Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
You look so beautiful, and I hope that the cameras, if not, getting those shoes.
Lift them up a little bit. They're a gift from my
amazing.
husband.
Well, he does a great job. So it's really fun sitting with you. I know you're going to introduce who you are, and I've got some questions to ask you. I'm honored that you're going to be part of It's About Time and be an author. But it's when you wrote me and you sent the story, I'm like, gosh, when I first met you was being a guest on Great Day. You had just started, and I mean, you were just starting and finding your way, and oh boy, you have it down now. And since then, you're going to introduce yourself, but I've watched you change and blossom and your life grow. And it's really amazing sitting here with you, knowing the transit. Even in mine, I don't think I was married to Gordon when I met you either. So it's really fun to watch it happen, and your family's beautiful. So I'm going to let you go ahead, where I keep raving over you right now. I'll let you introduce yourself so that someone that maybe hasn't had the opportunity to meet you, or they meet you because of what you do, they're going to know you a little more personally.
Well, thank you for the kind words. And thank you for evolving so much in the 10 years that I've known you. It's been really fun cheering you on and seeing all the different avenues that you have taken, and especially this project where you are bringing so many women together. I am honored and I am humbled. And I'm out of my comfort zone because I am not used to answering questions.
So you're given the questions, right?
So I'm giving up a bit of control. But my name is Laura Hettiger. I work for Channel 4. I've been there for almost 13 years now, which seems like a lifetime and also a few weeks.
Right.
And I think you have that when you have found a home, and I have found my professional home there. And I'm so very thankful to work at First Alert 4. I am from a very small town in Southern Illinois called Flora. It is barely in our viewing area. Sometimes it's mentioned on the news if there's a tornado watch or warning, but that's about it. It's about 100 miles directly east of St. Louis. But I've been here for 13 years, and not only has my professional life evolved, my personal life has. I have two very young kids, a daughter who's about to turn 1, a little boy who's almost 2.5, and everything I've ever wanted and prayed for, I see when I look at them. And I am married to the most brilliant, talented, smartest human that's ever walked the planet. And I am still amazed that I get to live this life with my husband and with my children.
Well, you're a beautiful soul. So I'm sure that that's come to you when you're blessed and feel so thankful for it. It's so deserving of who you are and what you give. And I could remember you would be, the set would finish from whatever visiting Great Day, and you'd be texting your mom. You're like very close with your mom and talking about things. And I thought that was so fun. And I guess she's back at home in Florida then, right? So does she get to come up much and see the kids?
She does. It's a commitment being 2.5 hours away the way she drives, because she drives much slower than I do. Well done, Mom. But she was just here over the weekend just for the day. And it was so nice because it was normal. We talk about the village that it takes to raise a child, and the village for a lot of women and families is changing. So many of us have had to move far from our hometowns to pursue our career. And my husband and I are on an island. We have no in-laws here. So just having my mom on a Saturday where she could help with bath time, or she could look out the window with my kids and point to the deer in the yard or the blue car coming by. Those are the things that are the big things right now in my family.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm going to dive into a few questions here. I did get to read your story, which was fun, and It's so you at the same time. It really is. I could just see you out there as the cheerleader and doing your thing. But I loved your mission of your story and why you want to share that. And that's what's so beautiful about the stories is women sharing their stories, and it helps other people, changes their life, or to know they're not alone as well. So and good information. So with that, what do you hope readers will take away from your story, Laura?
My story is all about simply showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably sounds silly and
No.
naive and young, but that's kind of been what's defined my life. I am never going to be the smartest person in the room. I am never going to be the most talented person in the room.
Oh,
But
I think I'm sure there's many times people look at you and you have all of those traits.
well, they might look at me because I showed up, and
There you
they
go.
did too. And it does take an act. In your intro, you said an act of bravery to simply show up. And I have never feared rejection. And that might sound silly. If you tell me, no, I don't like you, fine. You're probably not going to punch
It's a
me in the
strong trait to have because most are afraid of the no. That's very difficult for many.
It's to me though, it's scarier to think, what if?
Yes.
What if you didn't put yourself out there
Right.
for the no? What if you could have had an opportunity that you were too nervous or anxious to go for?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, I showed up at 30 television stations unannounced and asked for a job.
Yeah, I love that reading that part.
Which I've been told is unheard of.
Right.
But to me, as a journalist, you have to show up and ask people to bare their soul to you every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are going to have the guts and the compassion to do that to other people, and they're going to show you the compassion to share their story, you have to have the guts to show up for yourself.
Right.
And that's what I did when I landed my first job. 30 TV stations, 29 rejections, one yes. I just needed one yes. And I got my job at Channel 4 the exact same way. I showed up and asked for a job.
And I know your number there, but you would have went to 20 more until that yes, you were not going to give up, which the tenacity of that is incredible. And I loved when you talk about as well, when you were a little girl, you're in this small town and there really wasn't much like news or TV, but you were going around interviewing everyone as a small child. So you must have knew what you were going to do when you got older, and you're just using the town to do it.
Yes, and my mom still jokes. My very first mall was St. Clair's Square on the Illinois side, Fairview Heights.
Sure.
We would go to the mall, and I hated shopping at the time, but I would go to the men's shoe area and take out the stick that's in a shoe that has
the microphone.
Yes, with the tissue paper on, and go up and interview people.
Oh, that's adorable.
So my
Does your
parents,
mom have any pictures of that?
she might buried somewhere.
You need to find that.
But it was the trajectory, not knowing it at 6, 7, 8 years old by any means.
Sure.
But the qualities were there. I was curious. I had no problems going up to people.
Gosh, that's amazing. All right, second question for you. If you could, I'm so sorry. Hang on. Wait a minute. I got all excited there. I didn't even. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, am I inspiration or it's personal, right? I've asked a certain question. I just did it to you. I get so into what you're saying. I'm like, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. I'm just going to go for this one here. So if you could speak to yourself, speak to the version of yourself before that pivotal moment, what would you say?
I would say, calm down, girl. Stop stressing. And I wish I could go back to junior high Laura, high school Laura, college Laura, and say, it's going to work out. Things are going to fall into place. You worrying and worrying and worrying about the future, that's not going to get you any closer to the
hard
future.
To not do, isn't it?
It really is. And I finally have found myself at a point in my life, because I am in my 30s. I do have a family. I do have a career where I can laugh at how stressed I was, but also relax and enjoy where God has brought me to today, because this is exactly, I didn't even know life could be like this. And there are a lot of problems.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Life happens, right?
Yes, when you're least expecting it. But the things I have always wanted, I'm I'm now seeing in my kids and my husband and my friends.
That's beautiful. So, how has this experience shaped the woman that you are today?
Showing up,
Mhm.
I think it is something that my parents always instilled in me, and it was showing up for your friends. I went to the University of Illinois and I was blessed with the most amazing girlfriends. Unfortunately, none of them live in St. Louis.
Mhm.
So to stay as close as we are, I have to show up for them. And on some days, that can look like a text message.
Sure.
On Saturdays, that can look like a phone call. On a crazy day where they have to see something, it can be a FaceTime.
Mhm.
But in the important times, it's getting myself on a plane and
Personally
going
there.
to them and showing up for them.
Sure.
And as my kids get older, it will be showing up for them at the recital, at the Muffins for Mom next week that I'm so excited about. For my husband, showing up could be attempting to cook, which is terrible. Um, but showing up for myself too, and trying to give myself grace that things don't have to be perfect,
Mhm.
but as long as you start each and every day by showing up and having gratitude in your heart for where you are right now and knowing everything, as you mentioned, life happens, everything can change in an instant. So show up for the day that's ahead of you and keep putting your best foot forward.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Last question for you, Laura. What's something that you've come to believe about time, healing, or transformation because of what you went through in life?
The time is an interesting thing because my mom has always said, live life with no regrets. My grandma said that too, and she passed away just a few years ago at the
Sorry.
age, it's okay, she was 97.
Still hard.
It is.
When
And
there's such a force in your life, there's
mhm,
no age that's um, long enough.
eh, eh, very, very true. But because I did have that time with my grandma, and I have had so much time to learn from my parents, I do know that moving forward, they have helped me lay the foundation that heaven forbid something happens to them. I will be able to keep moving forward
Mhm.
because I need to show up for my own children,
That's right.
just like my grandma and my parents did and do for me. And and time is funny. At the start, I said I've been at Channel 4 for 13 years, which seems like a lifetime, but also a couple of weeks. Um, and I guess if you find yourself in a season that's very hard, time will change it and it will get better. And there were times in my career where I was setting my alarm to get up at 1:20 in the morning
Oh
and
my
crying myself to sleep at 6 p.m. and
gosh.
thinking, God, I have to be doing this for a reason, right? The one is out there, right? And he's going to help me build the family that I so desperately want, right? And trusting in God's timing too has really gotten me to where I am right now.
I love that. All your answers are so eloquently said and beautiful for someone else to listen to and know that um, life happens. But
Hmm.
if you continue to show up, really amazing things can happen, right? Even if they're not going to be the next anchor, news
Hmm.
person, journalist, as yourself, it doesn't matter. It's what resonates with them if they can just show up, whether it be
Hmm.
for their family, um, for their job, whatever it might be. So that's just beautiful information. I look forward to everybody reading your story and you being a part of this book and what's ahead. So thank you so much, Laura. Really appreciate getting to know you more.
I appreciate you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.